Greetings, Internet. Welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be episode 40 of my playthrough of Into the Woods by GM Games, which is the Battle of Shiloh. Still part way through the ATM term. In actual fact, we're part way through one of Hindman's activations. The last episode, we only did one of his brigades when his ship was drawn, so we've still got two brigades to go, Woods and Claiborne. Um, yeah, there was a lot to do. I try. It's not easy to keep these videos down to as not too long. I mean, last one was 30 minutes. Let's see if I can keep this one down to about the same. Um, so yeah, we've still got the rest of Hindman's. So if you can do the usual YouTube stuff, the like, subscribe, and any comments, as always, much appreciated. Let's go to the map and see what's going on. So as I said, Schaefer attacked, pushing back the artillery and the infantry here. And we're now going to activate Woods Brigade to continue that push. Okay, Woods Brigade. I think we want to actually start hurting the rest of Peabody's brigade here and pushing on to Prentice. Okay, so they're under attack orders. What can we do a bit more about that? Remembering these guys are actually unarmed. These guys are fine. So they're starting adjacent, that's okay. But can they move from his frontal facing into their frontal facing? Your answer is yes. Okay, a unit that starts moving adjacent to an enemy unit may change facing, or it can move directly to another hex that's adjacent to the same or another enemy unit whereupon it ceases movement. So there's no zones of controls in this game, but effectively that's moving from a zone of control into another zone of control of another unit. If you know the old zone of control rules in most of these in the old games. Anyway, so in short, yes. And let's do that. But the thing is, do we want to move all of them? Yeah, yes. So there. We're going to make sure that right. Moving as a stack, I'll make sure that they go in as they left, and Woods will push on with his little A1 activation marker there. Right. Now, does that mean that these guys can actually fire? Well, these guys are going to fire, but these guns are disordered. Can disordered guns fire? Okay, so disordered artillery cannot fire. However, they can retreat, and so can that Peabody Assassilla detachment. So he can retreat as well as that unit moves in there. However, it's not going to, because if it does so, it exposes the flank of this the 16th WI, Wisconsin. So they're not going to retreat, but the guns are, as long as it doesn't cost them more than 2 movement points. Now, let's have a look. Let me just reveal that. Thing is, it will cost them more than 2 movement points. Let me show you why. All right, let's go bring them back on and zoom in. Yeah, zoom in even more. There we go. That's maximum zoom. All right. So in that situation, okay, with those three there, to move from this hex to this hex will actually cost the artillery 3 movement points, which they can't do. And they can't, because maximum is 2 movement points, and they can't retreat from there to there because that's directly in his frontal hexes. So in other words, they're stuck. So I thought they could withdraw. The guns can't fire, and now these boys will fire into there. So it's muskets, as we know, is +2. I'm not going to bring up the charts. I'm not going to bring up the charts now. That's all unless it's something completely new. But probably the shop, which doesn't happen that often. But actual shooting and second disorder table, you've seen those. They're also in the comment section, not the comment section, the community section on the website, on the YouTube. So if you want to follow along exactly what I'm rolling, please do so. So, but we know that muskets is +2. Okay. Terrain, the firing into the wood, so that's +1. Sorry, that's -1, so it leaves it as +1. And that's about it. They're not disordered or anything like that. So it's a +1 on the shot. They roll an 8. Ooh, that's 9. 6 increments, well, 7 increments can fly, but 6 is count. With a 9, that's a 1D. Okay, the D is an automatic disorder. The 1 is 1 step loss. Now, which unit takes the step loss? Okay, the artillery will take it because it is the top unit. But for a multi-section battery, which is these two, are the same, you randomly determine which actual gun takes it. Is it going to be taken from the Napoleons, the Ls, or the TBs? So randomly determine 1 to 3 is the TBs. It is the TB that takes the step loss. Let me go and get a step loss marker for that. Strength points, there we go. So that battery was, well, that's interesting. It doesn't show on that side. Let's reflip him. I think it was 4 yet. But so he'll now be on 3 guns. Increase and increase. So let's move Peabody out of the way, move him there. Now, also, it was 1 step loss and it was a big D. So it's an automatic disorder as well. And they are already all disordered. So that is using the second disorder table. Okay. Which is from the fire, lose 1 SP, then retreat 1 to 2 hexes. So again, there's another gun loss. Again, it's on the TBs. All right, hold on, we'll get that there. Flip that as well. So that's decreased. There's only actually 2 guns left in that battery. Then retreat 1 or 2 hexes. Actually, for artillery, it just says lose 1 gun, which we've just done. Okay, so there's no actual need to retreat. If it had been the infantry that has taken the step loss. Okay, and then we're going to roll for Peabody himself. Oh, I think no, it's a 0. He takes a check to see if he's actually wounded. Okay, so he's all right. That's it. There's no route. It was an automatic disordered, so that was fine. So yeah, everything else is okay on that. Though obviously they're going to get shocked in the shock combat. Aren't they? They are indeed. Okay. Carrying on with wood, we're going to move this unit up for 1.5, 3. We're going to do a facing change. I remember which buttons do the facing change. Okay, and then they fire into this unit here. There's a 15th Missouri, who are unarmed. They're out of ammo. Basically, yeah, they've got no ammunition at all. So rifled muskets at 2 hex range is, fire tables up. Rifle musket is still +1, whereas musket would drop to -1. So it's +1. They are firing into the woods and through the woods. That's a negative -1 for each one. So it's now -1. And that's it. They're not disordered or anything. No, -1. So there are 4, which becomes a 3, and there are 6 of them firing. That's a little D on that unit. So it's just a UDD. Remember, there's +1 to this side. 3 + 1's 4. They take it. They can't fire back because they're unarmed. No, not unarmed, but got no ammunition. Okay. What's some of these guns here? Yeah, let's move them in. Okay, 1.5. 3. Now, he could do a facing change. Okay, so they need to do a UDD to change their facing there. Okay, and their morale is 6. They roll a 6, but fortunately these are +1 for the Union at this time. So they do, but they become disordered. They change facing, but become disordered. That's that little, let's put that to the side for the moment. Flip him. Okay, put it back. That's just to remind me he's part of Peabody's brigade. Okay, so now we got some shooting. There's 6 increments of rifled muskets firing. Yeah, 6 increments of rifled muskets firing. So firing from muskets firing is +1. And they're firing into the woods, so it's -1, so it's a straight roll. Straight roll. That's not great, is it? That's not great. So 1 with 6 increments is a D -2. Okay. They roll a 3 -2 is 1 +1 because it's union with 2. They pass that little test. Okay. Cavalry's doing nothing. Guns. It says lines of sight. These can't do anything. I'm not going to move them forward. See, the restriction is this is moving the guns forward towards the enemy. It does say line of sight. It doesn't say line of fire. There's 2 concepts you can use for moving guns towards the line. Unless stacked with or adjacent to friendly infantry, artillery cannot move within 3 hexes of enemy mounted cavalry. Right, yeah. Following any approach for artillery ending its move within 3 hexes and line of sight of enemy units must immediately undergo a UDD. So if they move forward, artillery ending its move within 2 hexes and line of sight of enemy units, add 2. Artillery starting its activation within 3 hexes and line of sight of an enemy unit is not subject to the above if it retreats, conducts a reaction movement, or ends its move further from the nearest enemy unit and does not fire. So it can't really move any closer to that infantry, even though they can't shoot it, because it says line of sight. It doesn't say line of fire. However, we are going to move the guns as such. Be facing change, then 3 gets them onto the road, and then it's 1.5 for that one, so it's 4.5. I better double check that from artillery on a trail. I think it's at half the. What they call them a file lane, brackets trail, half of the terrain in the hex. So it normally be 3 for artillery. So yeah, so it's 4.5 to there. Again, I've done it again. They are within 2 hex, so I can't do that. I can't do that. 1, 2, and even yeah, as long as they stay the same distance, I don't have to worry about it. So in other words, so they could actually move there for 3. So it's sorry, I'll start again. From there to there for 3, then from there to there for another 3, that's 6. And then we'll change their facing. There we go. Right. Now we can move this guy up 3, 1.5, 3. Out of range, so he can't fire. The cavalry are not doing anything at this point. Well, actually they can. 2, 4, 6. They're under attack orders. 2, 4, actually along the trail. 5. Yes, there we go. Right. Okay. So that's everything of his moved, I believe. I'm going to zoom a little bit out now, just in case I'm missing a unit. I'm not. Okay. Okay. So at that point, we will move. We will mark who is shocking. Shocking. Okay. They're shocking, and they're shocking. So that's shock declaration phase. Um, charts and tables. Okay. So we just had the designate all targets for shock and charges. There are no charges because they moved, but these are shocking there, and these are shocking there. Okay. From retreat before shock. Okay, so can these guys retreat before shock? I think the answer is yes. The question is, do they want to? Because then they're exposing again that this guy's flank. And that's a big unit. So I think they're going to have to stand. Oh, after he can't retreat before shock anyway. So the intrude, yeah. Right, just remember the rule. Green attacker commitment check. We don't have to do that in this. No, yes, we do have to do that in this battle. We don't get green detriment to firing. Okay. So they're not green, but they are. So let's see if they are keen to go in. Morale of 6. Wood makes it morale of 7. Wood says, come on, lads. And they go and they push on. Okay. Let's crack these like a walnut. I have no idea what wood sounds like, but there we go. Then these guys, they are green as well. So the top unit, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Drag it out, yeah, and then unit underneath it. Yeah, so they're both keen to go. So that's the green attacker commitment check. We now have the defender pre-shock cohesion check. Okay, so there are differences there. If you watch the last video, if the green attacker commitment check had failed, they wouldn't have disordered. They'd have just gone, nah, we're not out for it today, guys. Right. So Peabody's group, they've got a morale of 5 for this defender's pre-shock cohesion check, but there are modifiers. Per leader is -1, so that's good. All right. Is unit disordered? Yes, so that cancels out the leader. Defender's been attacked from flank or rear? No, they've been attacked from the front. Carry charge, no fatigue? No. So it's a straight roll, and their morale is 5, but remember there is a +1, which is the additional modifier for the Union at this time of the day. They rolled a 3, a 3, so they pass. I don't think I have to check for every unit in the stack. Okay, for the other guys, their morale is 4. They don't have a leader. They are disordered, so it's a +1. They're not being attacked from flank or rear either, so it's a +1. And again, the standard +1 for this type of the Union. 3 + 2 is 5. They fail. Okay. Are already disordered. They're extremely unhappy, aren't they? They've got no ammo. And they're being attacked. I mean, it's just a bit rude, isn't it? Okay. So pre-shock cohesion check. Fail. Roll another UDD. If they pass this one, they just lose 1 SP and retreat 1 to 2 hexes. If they fail this one, they rout. 0, they pass. So they lose 1 strength point and retreat 1 to 2 hexes. Okay, so they've got 15. Let me find a counter for them. Okay, so they retreat 1 to 2 hexes. I think they're going to try and get out of dodge. They're going to retreat 2 hexes. Okay, take their counter with it. I better do the facing of the counter as well. And stick it underneath. At the bottom, boys. There we go. All right. Um, he can advance. No, he can't advance. Oh, ooh. From fire, he couldn't advance. I think he can advance at this point. Yeah, I'll have to check again. I know there's lots of rule checking. Um, because every case is just slightly different. Yes, they can advance in, so we'll do so. Okay. Notice I'm doing this step by step per I don't do all of the situations per hex. I do it step by step for the brigade activation. So that was the pre-shock cohesion check, which we've done on that unit. This unit, I can't remember if we did it. I can't remember. Um, Darn it. No. Yes. I'm gonna say, oh dear, it's quite important. 5, 6. I think we did it. Okay. Defenders pre-shot cohesion check. We did the attacker's commitment that way, and then yeah, I haven't done it because I was coming back the other. I should stay going one way to the other. So these haven't done their pre-shock defenders pre-shock cohesion check. Oh yes, they have. Because sorry guys, just confusing myself. I did do it the right way. Per leader, yeah, they got the leader, didn't they? And the other guys didn't. Right. So we got there. So now we're into the pre-shock reaction fire. The guns can't fire, but he can. So muskets is a +2. However, he's firing into the wood, and he's firing, which is -1, and the disorders, which is another -1. So net 0. Net 0. Okay. On the fire table, and there's only 2 increments of them left. So yeah, with a 2, 2 with a 2 is non point, nothing, zip, 0, which sounds about right, doesn't it? So that's the pre-shock reaction fire. Right, now we resolve the shock. So we now determine shock DRMs. Remember, I'm using reds for, well, I'll just count it through. Okay, so odds, ratio, benefit. So the artillery add 1, as I determined last time, add 1 for the odds ratio. Okay, because there are 4 guns still in that hex, and it's 1 per 4 rounded down, so that's 1. Plus infantry 2, so that's 3 strength points. And they've been attacked by 6, plus 6 is 12. So 12 to 3 is 4 to 1, which is a +4 modifier. Okay. Any defender disordered? Slightly. That's another +1, so it takes it to 5. And I find 5 on a single dice? Yes. Charge benefit? No, because they fired. Stacked with an aggressive leader. Is Wood aggressive? He isn't. He's normal at the present moment, so no. As per terrain chart, for determine Woods doesn't add anything. A.S. Johnson effect, not at the present moment. And then you've got position modifiers. It's a straight flunk, front attack, so there's no modifiers there. So it's +5. Then we have defenders. Any attacker disordered? No. Attacker has no brigadier. They do. He's leading them in. So that's it. That's the modifiers. +5. See if they can roll better than Schaefer's brigade. They roll 3 + 5 is an 8. Defender retreats. This is like the shock resolution table. Defender retreats. Defending units retreat 1 hex and then disorders. Plus attacker may or must continue shock. That's exactly what they wanted. Okay. Well, higher would have been better. So defender must retreat 1 hex and then disorder. They're already disordered. we've already determined that the guns can only retreat if it's 2 movement points or less, and that hex there will cost them 3. So those guns actually become abandoned. And I've got a few things to do on a chart to do that. Okay. On the in the actual box game, there's a little piece of cardboard which has a holding boxes for abandoned guns. This module doesn't have that, or if it does, I can't find the bloody thing. Unless it's that thing. Oh, it is. I have found the bloody thing. There we go. All right. So I could use that, but oh, they do go off. Oh, all right. Fair enough. Is that what I've actually done? As you can see, there's an abandoned gun marker. I've put it on here, Prentices Division. There's the A marker with guns that are abandoned underneath it. Okay. The rest of the guys have retired with Peabody, and and then we're disordered again. So we now have to do a check on them because they retreated and were disordered because it was defend retreat. Defending it retreats 1 hex. Yes, guns couldn't, and then therefore abandoned. And then disorders. So it's a second case disorder, which is based on the shock results table. So they make a UDD roll. So if they pass, they lose 1 strength point. If they fail, they rout. They pass, so they lose a strength point and retreat another 1 to 2 hexes. Okay, so they will retreat to there. Finally, got to find a strength point for them. Strength point, there we go. Oh, and correct, that's facing to go with the infantry, and then he can go at the bottom of the stack. There we go. Right, now these guys can advance in and can continue to shock. Okay, these guys are in trouble. Okay. Okay, so this unit here can attempt to refuse with that unit's flank. However, look at his morale. He's only a 4. He's getting a +1 because it's the Union at that time. Or what do they actually do? They actually are able to refuse. So make sure I get the right marker. Put that, place that there. Okay, so they present that as a frontal hex. And we then go into continuation of shock. Okay, so they've moved in. They've managed to refuse flank. So we then go through, because there's no other shocks that need to be resolved, the shock procedures again. I think I want to make sure I'm not misreading something. Must send shock all enemy units in their frontal hexes using standard steps 1 through to 6D. Okay, so designated target is done. Perform retreat before shock, can't retreat. Green attacker commitment check, doesn't need to do that if it needed. Defender pre-shock cohesion check, doesn't need to do that. Oh, that's one of the, remember this rule set is exceptions of exceptions. There is no die roll for green attacker commitment or defender pre-shock resolution check. So then we have a pre-shock reaction fire. They do get to shoot. Now there are 5 increments. Oh, let me just double check how many increments are in that unit. Right, so it's 15, so it's 5 per hex. Okay. And then from that unit there, it's got a facing of there, and there. So it can't fire all 5 of that facing into there. It's proportional. So it can put 2 into there. So it's firing with 2 increments. So they're armed with muskets, as denoted by the counter there. So it's +2. However, they're firing into the woods, so it takes 1 off, and they're firing disordered, that takes 1 off. So it's a 0 fire with 2 increments. Yeah, not great, but you never know. They rolled a, sorry, 6 didn't go all the way down, but there we go. They rolled a 6, with 2 increments. That is, it was +2, -2, yeah. D -1 on the Confederate unit. 2, they're fine, they're loving it. Okay, so that didn't result in anything. That was pre-shock reaction fight. Now we don't determine shock DRMs. And that unit only fights with the 5 that's there. So currently, in that hex attacking them, there is 12 to 5. So that is 2 to 1. 2 to 1 on the DRM tables is 2 to 1 is +2. There we go. Find it eventually. There we go. Any defender disordered? Yes, they are. So that takes you to +3. Charge benefit? No. Stacked with an aggressive leader? No. Terrain chart? No. Okay. They're not hit the flank or anything. They managed to do a refuse, so that's fine. Any attacker disordered? No. Attacker has no brigadier? They do. Attacker with advantage? No, no. So it's a net +3. Per each successive continued shock. Okay, that's down 1. So it's a net +2. Okay. +2. High is good. They're on a 1. That's not good. That's a 3. Standoff. Both sides are disordered. Right. Okay. Both sides are disordered. So there's a shock table result. Okay. For this guy, because he's taken a second case disorder. So he has to roll a UDD. Yeah, he has to go through UDD. So 1. If you pass, lose 1 SP and then retreat 1 to 2 hexes. Okay. So let's get this out of the way here. It's getting very cluttered here, isn't it? Right, retreat 1 to 2 hexes. 1, 2. It took another step loss, so that would decrease. Well, if they'd failed that, they would have routed. Okay, I think the refuse is gone as well. I think the refuse. Okay, these guys, move the shock for the moment, can advance in and become disordered. So it's, I'm not sure if both do, but I think they both do. Flip and flip. Okay, and he goes in. No strength plus lot, and that's there. Okay, that's about it. So they managed to hold. The artillery are taken. These managed to hold as well. Losses have been suffered, but they're still there. All right, let's move the shock markers out of the way. Okay, then we have the post all attacking infantry and dismounted cavalry in good order are now automatically disordered. Now, so that only occurs if shock occurred, which did here. So these become disordered. And these are already disordered. So they lose 1 SP, but it's only 1 from the stack. So he becomes, let's get a strength point. Oh, blimey. Here we go. Oh, sorry, guys. As they advance in, they can also change their facing by 1 vertex, which I think might be the sensible thing to do. So, and the guy underneath them. Okay. And the 5 goes underneath that counter. Down 1 step. There we go. And he goes up 1 step. Move out of the way. That's Woods. Now they've just lost a step, but it's effectively stragglers. So Wood doesn't have to check. Okay. That is Schaefer. No, that was Wood's brigade gone forward. Now we're going to do Cleburne, who's over here. Oh, yeah. Right. What are we trying to do with him? Well, we want to advance into Lost Field. And probably do we want to cross the hammock? We don't want to be too far detached from Wood. So we're generally going to be moving in this direction. Now we've got one unit way back here, and I forgot him last time. So first of all, we're going to check him to see if he actually recovers his morale. He don't want to cross there at all. If you rolled a 9, he would have taken some losses. So he's saying, nah, we're good. We're good, sir. We're very good. Okay. Now we're under advance orders, so we can move or attack. Sorry, move or fire. And we are allowed to do a facing change if we want to fire. Do we want to fire at that cavalry? I think that might be... No, he's not going to fire. Okay, this one is definitely not going to fire because he's already low ammo. Free-facing change. 1, 2, 3, 4 will do there. 1, no, it's actually 2, my bad. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. He's disordered. I think we'll try to recover him as well. What is it with these Confederates? We just can't be bothered. He doesn't recover. It's not good, is it? 3, 6, 3, 6. Claiborne's fine. He's okay. Fatigue. Oh, that's a good point. Fatigue. Right, that's the second time Woods has engaged in battle this time, so this turn. So his fatigue does increase. Wood, no, it's doing the little A1 bloody marker. I do need to have these markers, but sometimes. All right. Fatigue goes up 1 because his brigade's been involved in combat. I'm going to put that red one on there. Also, the A1 gets replaced by an A2 to show his brigade has been activated twice. So you can see the fatigue, especially if you're getting combat, does accumulate quite quickly. Let's get rid of that. Delete. Okay. Right. Over to Claiborne. He hasn't been involved in shock, but his units are getting a little bit straggled out. But Lost Field has been taken. Change hands. There we go. Boom. Right. Oh, I think that is it for them. Let's clear all the move markers. And that's the end of that. Oh, no. We do have Hindman himself to move. Okay. He can activate. So we want to keep him within 5 of wood. Okay, so 1, 2. That's 1, 2. Yeah, that's fine. At the end of it, we've also got to remember about Hardy in the core move. Now, Hardy is a core commander. He only has Hindman's division, but he can also keep Cleburne sweet and innocent. Okay. All right, so I'll clear that as well. Right, let's bring that back to the top. Oh, no, 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 no. One last thing. That was Hindman there. Let's actually draw the next chit. So let me go to this. That's Hindman's second activation completed. And the next chit out, it'll be unassigned. I think we worked out last time there wasn't any unassigned left, so we'll actually ignore that. And then we'll draw another chit. Withers. Withers will be withers. Okay, that's going to be the next turn. Let's bring this back up to the top. Right, so they're still hanging in there, Prentices. Some obviously some good rolls with this little devil. Kept that massive unit, the 17, well, the initially 17 strength points, still in the fight. So, but yeah, action. That's what you wanted. We now got it. With us, I think there's going to be action on that flank as well. In the centre there. All right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I'm loving playing this, and it definitely helps playing it with you guys. It also definitely helps from a solo point of view that I just don't know what shit is going to be next. It definitely helps. And then if I have got any indecisive moments, that's what this little light is for, you know, where I would have to work out, well, I know that's going to do that and that's going to do that. That approach fire, I think that was actually in the previous video, which I had to make that kind of, oh, I don't know if they'll fire or not. Little die roll, don't hurt. Anyway, thank you for watching, as I've said. The YouTube stuff, if you can do it, the like, subscribe, blah, 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 the comments. I never mentioned this, and I should do, the activation bell. If you are subscribed, press the activation bell, and then anything that I do, it will ding-a-ling, and yeah, away you go. If that's what you want to do. No, I'm not going to go down that way. Until next time, guys, play games, have fun, buy internet,